18 years since Warren Jeffs was arrested, August 28, 2006, the community of Short Creek, the twin cities of Hilldale and Colorado City, have undergone a lot of changes. You'll notice there are no white trucks following me. Let's go see what else is different.
United effort plan was everybody was going to donate all the land so that nobody could take it and we could divide it equally.
Almost immediately upon entering town, you're going to run into a Dollar General and B's Grocery Store. B's Grocery Store houses one of several coffee shops and has an upstairs bar. But if you look a little bit more closely, you'll always find a little bit of a remnant of what this place used to be. In 2019, a developer took advantage of the fact that there was a lot of real estate out here, so things have been changing to the point, and if you've been following any of this, that there is now an LDS church here, which is huge for this community because those two really don't vibe together.
We believe in the Book of Mormon, but we believe in the original teachings of Joseph Smith. The biggest drift between the LDS and the fundamentalists, the FLDS, is obviously going to be plural marriage.
In a town founded and built by fundamentalists, the fact that this is here is nothing short of notable.
That they needed to shut down the public schools because we had to associate with apostates too much. That was, two things that were really horrifying to me. First of all, that we had to shun and hate, which was not part of our religion, and that we were going to deprive children of schooling, which was really, really troubling to me.
In your continued trek down Main Street, you'll also see a community college.
Got this crappy little building as a very first reclaim. It was sort of a test to see if the trust would let me kind of pull a building out of eviction and repurpose it for the FLDS. It worked.
Behind me is the Short Creek Cottage, a charity shop founded by Voices for Dignity, Dr. Christine Marie, and a few FLDS remaining in the area who needed a little bit of supplemental income. This was heavily featured in the 2021 documentary Keep Sweet, not to be confused with Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
This is in 1987. Love at home. They're at our meeting house.
Behind me is a former community center in town that had baptism pools, pictures of the prophets everywhere, however, was taken back by the people who own the UEP Trust and was slated to be put back together, remodeled, and become a source of community involvement. However, it looks like the renovations have stopped a while ago with no word on when they will resume.
750 houses, 150 commercial properties. I'm a capitalist. I believe in order to have any good economy, you have to have houses being sold and purchased, and for new businesses, for new construction. I think it's necessary. I think it's a little bit painful, but it's really necessary.
While this building used to be a hub of community involvement, it now sits, like so many other properties in this community, in disrepair with an unsure future.
It's where we had a dairy, and it's just weeds. Why take something if you're not going to use it?
Short Creek for many years was a self-sustained town, and behind me in this field, and there's still some remnants of it that you can see, you would have found the dairy. However, I know there's cows around here, I can smell them. About this time, you're probably going to want to ask, well, since all of this is over, which it's not, there's still a fair amount of the town that are believers. Do you see them walking around town? Yes, you do. Why haven't you seen a picture? Because it's rude to film people without their permission, Gina. The building behind me is easily one of the most notable landmarks, but is now the Short Creek Dream Center, and the chimney, as you can see, has been fixed. You should really look this place up. They do some amazing work here. Now, in case you needed a little refresher, this was actually Warren's old home, and this is what the chimney looked like before they fix it. Now, I'm saying this was actually his old home as opposed to something we're going to talk about. I'm getting ahead of myself, you know. Behind me, you'll find one of the strangest tourist traps in the entire world. People are told that they can stay here because this was Warren's house, but there's a little bit of a story to that. If you're really into FLDS architecture, which it is interesting and different, you can come and stay here. However, Warren never lived here. This is not FLDS owned, and they don't even like that this exists. The backstory behind this is rather interesting. It was a very build it and they will come situation. Warren instructed this to be built after he was already in jail. He never stayed here, but told his followers if it was built to the proper specifications, he would get out, and obviously that was not a thing.
He lived with his enormous family in a sprawling Arizona compound, and under that compound, way down below it, concealed from the world, lay secret caves and passageways that were dug out to hide Warren Jeffs.
Behind me is one of the biggest hubbubs in recent history is the secret FLDS cave. Now, here's the thing about the cave, right? In the article, they cited a statistic, which they didn't say how they compiled that, what studies we were doing, anything like that, that 2% of the FLDS knew this was up here. I've spoken to 3 people independently with no leading information that all told me that they were taken on field trips here because really there weren't a lot of places to go. They also stored dynamite in here, however, they had permits to do so. Did try to contact the owner of the cave, who is ex-FLDS, however was unsuccessful. Hopefully next time we're in town. But I can show you through the little thingy if you'd like to see it. This is it. It's there are bathrooms if you go either way this way, and I was told that they were like latrine style, not the coolest thing in the world. It is locked from the inside, however you could do that from the outside. There's big bars. Just a quick addendum about the person who wrote this and about what they're saying. First of all, those caves were not for Warren. They were there long before that, and Warren wasn't actually hiding in Short Creek, which is a really important part of that story because it shows how many places he had to go to hide. Then on the other side of it, the man who actually wrote that, I'm going to do you a longer video, did all of that to take it to a crime con, like basically a comic convention for true crime, which I can't believe that exists, but that's important. Continuing. You will find secret hiding places in many FLDS homes as well as all over the town or any towns that they're operating in because again, Short Creek is no longer the hub because of the fear-mongering over the raid. So yes, there are a lot of these, but the reasoning behind that is actually pretty important. Now, none of this is to say that this town does not still have its own problems, mental health, substances, the Dream Center that we mentioned. However, things are changing. There is evolution here. And all this time that I've been talking to you, I've run all over town, very clear what I'm doing. I've got my tripod out. I have not been bothered once. The only thing that's happened is people waving and saying hi. That is the end of our time together today. However, I hope this was an interesting look at what 19 years has changed out in this very small community. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time.